All right, welcome everyone. We're Semblance of Sanity. I'm Caleb.
I'm Jacob.
And we're here for My Hero Academia, Season 3, Episode 25, the finale of Season 3.
After this, we're going to be in hiatus land, and it's going to suck.
Season 4 has been announced, though.
That's true.
So that is a hype
I thought
thing.
for a second they were going to cancel My Hero Academia.
Like,
I mean, it's
not popular enough.
Yeah, exactly. It's been in treacherous waters past, recently. Yeah.
Oh my gosh,
Come up in the
no.
air.
Like, we have been introduced to the big three.
Yes.
The strongest students in UA. And understandably, for at least one of them, Mr. Tintin, because he has some kind of self-matter manipulation phasing type quirk, which is in of itself busted.
Ridiculous.
So maybe we'll get to learn what
Sasuke-
the other quirks of them are.
I get the feeling one of them has to do with intense brooding.
Yes, we have not Sasuke
Yeah.
and the girl.
Right.
She has blue
Hopefully we have
hair.
a better way to describe her after this episode.
Yes,
Yeah.
hopefully.
Yeah.
But another thing that's really cool is that the last episode we were introduced to the idea of bad guy villain quirk gangs of sorts. Some of them have a little bit of an occult kind of look to them with those plague masks, you know.
Other ones had
pretty
trouble
legit.
like sticking together and just generally seems to be sort of falling apart.
And
Just all over the place. Didn't really have much group cohesion.
kind of distributed to different facets and stuff.
Right.
Yeah. Overhaul seems like he'll be one of, at least, in addition to the League of Villains and stuff, forced
Upgraded
to be
to
reckoned
main
with.
character of villain status.
Yeah, if we get any more screen time with him in this episode, then he's definitely in that side of things. I'm pretty much certain he's going to be because he's named.
Right. Yeah, he seems kind of like they're trying to do like the new Stain kind of a thing.
Yeah, like the more evolved Stain.
Right, yeah. Because
Like one who has more staying power, staining power, maybe. We'll see. All right, guys, we're hyped for this. This is the MHA Season 3 finale. Can't wait to see what we're going to get here. So without further ado, let's get into it. All right, guys, we're going to start the episode in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, now. Monoma's eyes. I mean, Minetta's eyes. Yes.
Shonen Jump.
Also known as the Big Three.
Yep.
Wow. And Tintin guy has scars on his arms like Deku.
Oh.
I don't know if you noticed that. They were very small,
didn't.
but they were kind of there.
You sure it's not like hair? Like
No,
them just
I'm
doing
sure.
like
I'm sure.
Okay.
And only. So Bakugo's missing out on hearing about the strongest students in UA, which I find really funny because he's probably going to be like, eh?
Well, the thing is that while he's under house arrest, he's probably like vacuuming, and then suddenly he's just like,
I sense competition in the air. Oh, what I have to do now. I like that in the opening of all this, we didn't get anything about what's been happening in these last, 2 episodes or so, really.
Right.
If anything, we got teased a little bit about the Bakugo Deku kind of stuff in here. Like at the very end, but we didn't know what that meant other than thematic stuff.
Well, and it just makes sense because first season was Deku, second season was Todoroki, so third season being Bakugo, it makes sense.
Right, but this is also the opening for the second half of Season 3, so they could have gone into the end stuff, but they kept it localized in the Battle Royale stuff. One and only... Unrivaled. Oh, shoot.
Are you talking about Bakugo?
Mirio, Togata, Nejiri Hado, Tamaki, something. Okay, cool. The crown. Okay. Target acquired. Yep.
Wow.
Acquired. Oh man, Mineta.
Yes.
See, yeah, little
yeah.
scars there.
Yeah.
Oh. Ah! What the heck? I got naked. What? Okay. Yeah. Okay, voice acting. Here we go. Awajiki.
It's like he has all this pent-up edge inside him.
They're all potatoes. Or what? 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 What is going on?
So he's like, he has super anxiety problems.
Yeah. Yeah, seriously.
Can't do public speaking. The
This
flea.
is the flea. Tamaki and Nejire.
Hado.
Right, yeah. Balls. Okay, personality or quirk? We got the natural air. Wow. I knew he was gonna say that. Oh my gosh. SOS just like... Alright.
He's the responsible one.
The future's gonna be...
That's straight up an All Might pose.
Yeah, it is. Grim. He's totally like All Might. Very energetic, yes.
Mm-hmm. And now they're doing the shade.
They're doing the shadow thing. Wait, what? To experience our experience. Do what you want. Okay, all of them?
Bakugo's gonna be super upset that he missed this.
Yeah. You probably shouldn't. Yeah. I love this guy. Who are unable to recover. Oh my gosh. Unrivaled. They're all about to be destroyed.
Mm-hmm. Oh.
Oh, dang. Huh. No, you guys are probably fine. It's just that he's really good.
Yeah.
Unexpected. Problem child. Okay. All right. All right. This is going to be awesome.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
Yep.
Right.
Yep. Right. So it's phasing.
Everything just goes right through him. Yeah.
Right. But how does he attack, you know? Ah! Yeah. Okay. With a certain hero. Yeah. Yeah, this guy has past All Might experience, yeah. Oh my gosh.
Wouldn't that be a weakness, though, to... Like when he's attacking, wouldn't he be vulnerable?
I don't know. He's probably turning it off and on really quickly.
Uh-huh.
Whoa. Whoa. All right.
That's just rough.
Yeah. Todoroki's just not even participating. Okay. Probably the only people that could be a problem, you know.
Possibly.
Unrivaled. Roll credits. Oh.
Ah. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
All right, cool. 8 versus 1. It's at the moment where he phases. What? Okay. So he loses his clothes when he phases. Right. All right. Oh! Oh! Whoa! Wow!
Yeah. But you'd think someone like Todoroki would do really good against him because he'd still be able to burn while phasing, right?
I mean, he would heat up. His molecules would heat up, like within his body and stuff, but...
And then they'd burn.
Jeez. You should lift the whole bag. Wow. Wow.
Okay.
Okay. Permeation.
Okay.
Okay. So he envelops. Oh.
Mm-hmm.
But he can.
Right. Mm-hmm. Seems pretty basic.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Whoa.
That's much better than just having like some sort of
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, nice.
Dang! Whoa!
Nice.
Sounds like a buggy game. Yes.
Right.
Oh
uh-huh.
yeah,
Yeah.
nice.
Oh.
Whoa.
So, okay, I guess fire wouldn't work on him.
Yeah. Dang.
Okay.
Whoa. So this is like an intense focus related.
Yeah.
Whoa.
And I guess he doesn't need to worry about his body moving through other parts of his body if one part phases and the other part doesn't.
Yeah. Wow. I love it.
All right. Nice.
Right, you're equals,
Mm-hmm.
yeah. Especially for someone with a quirk like him.
Mm-hmm.
He doesn't want to, have an accident that hurts him or others.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
All right.
Wow.
Awesome.
Yeah. Yeah.
Sure.
Mm,
You're not in Kansas anymore.
right.
That's right.
Well said, Invisible Girl. C'est la vie! Oh, even Coda in this quiet voice,
Cool.
Ah! He's like, yes. Oh, there's the tie-in between him and
Yeah.
Deku, yeah.
And the scars are from when he wasn't able to properly
Yeah.
predict in things.
Exactly.
In that sense, it's a wonder that he only has that many scars.
Right. Mirio.
I love how he's like so animated with his walking.
Yeah. Oh.
Huh.
Cool.
Sir.
Yeah, who's that? Ah! Bakuga! Ah! Yeah. It's an underdog story.
Mm-hmm.
Gotcha. Oh, because of all the attacks and putting their kids basically in more danger. Calling mom. Oh, Gran Torino, yeah.
Hey!
Who are you? He just keeps going. So anyway.
Something else?
Ah. Wow.
But there's bringing up that successor word again.
Mm-hmm. It's true.
Yeah.
Looking forward to that. Oh, it all might all over the. Totally. He totally could. Oh. Former sidekick. Oh. Is this Sir? Oh. Okay. So not Shigaraki. Huh. 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 Hmm. Okay. He's got the glasses thing, yep. Okay. This background, he's like, oh.
It is good. Yeah.
All right. Mm-hmm. Awesome.
Okay.
Awesome.
Cool.
Season 3. There it is. Oh, okay. I can see a lot of discussion potential from this one.
Huh.
Like, oof.
This was a great episode.
Specifically around introducing those 3 characters, because they're basically saying these 3 characters are important characters, not only I'm talking about the big 3. They're not specifically just kind of important for the UA side of things. They're important for like the next stage of story. Like we've always kind of been waiting for UA to go into more of the world building stuff, and I would say developing the school structure is essentially to the kids at UA, it's their world building, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
So having the knowledge that there's a top 3 in the school is kind of like, oh, okay.
Right.
Like, that's a thing that just is the way it's done in UA.
Yeah.
And having them, especially Mirio, who, like, it's very clear they're trying to make the connection to putting him next to Deku.
Absolutely.
To show another underdog that basically made it to the top, showcasing what Deku could do with his quirk, you know?
Yeah.
But then the other two also being important by being at least connected.
Right.
So, yeah. All right, check to see if there's an end credit scene. Yep. Is this an advertisement for the movie?
Or just like...
Oh. Okay. It's being made. Awesome. Okay, so this was a character introduction episode, and it was a very dramatic one specifically for Mirio, because holy crap, they just basically are like, yeah, this character, we're bringing him into the story, and this quirk that, like, I've never seen phasing handled so well.
Yeah, like,
ever.
because the thing is that you would have a situation where basically you would either be useless in a lot of cases, or you would be OP as all crap.
Right.
And I love the fact that he went into the idea of it even being down to light and air and everything like that. You know, the only thing that he isn't able to avoid is gravity.
Right. So all wave, particle, everything passes through him. And by everything, he means everything. So the names of these characters are Mirio Togata, Nejire Hado, and Tamaki Amajiki.
Right.
So Tamaki has a lot of social anxiety and is very nervous around groups and is probably not what you would call the model hero. He kind of follows a little bit of a young Aizawa, you could say.
Sure.
But a more extreme version. And we got no introduction really to either his quirk or Nejire's quirk.
Yeah.
I think maybe if we wanted to, we could try and do some theory making on that.
We did see their quirk, but not their quirk.
Right.
You know? So, yeah.
But
and then
Mirio.
And then for Mirio, we definitely saw his quirk.
Wow.
Some of the ladies, particularly Jiro, also saw his dongle.
As he said, his willy.
Yeah, his willy. Yeah.
I love that, like, this is so casual. Aizo is just like, whatever, you know.
And that's interesting because if you think about it, he'd be kind of set up for some interesting issues as far as public relations and PR goes for being a hero, because he's got to fight in the nude. So, you know, I mean, little difficulties there, you know.
Yeah.
Imagine him just being on public television and like, oh my gosh, wow, he's doing so amazing and all that stuff, and then all the parents are just like, just, you know,
he's doing the Atlas pondering pose, you know, where he's got the high knee,
yes, that's
and it's
right,
stretched across.
Yeah,
you could cover quite a bit with the right pose,
but for like dynamic, you know, movements and stuff. It's like,
the funny thing is that if he wanted to, maybe, I don't know. I don't know if this works if only a part of his body is submerged. I think it doesn't, because the idea was that if he moved through the wall and he had control over, you know, part of it and stuff, he could probably just stand with his waist in pavement, essentially, right? His waist and below. Could he just stay there?
Yeah. Because then
he would be able to breathe.
Right.
He would be able to retain hold on everything by putting his hands down. So that's how he would do it.
And also just the fact that if it's only the lower half of his body, he'd just sink up till that point. That might feel weird because then his organs would be supporting his body, but it could work.
I mean, his hands also could be, you know, pressing on that,
you know,
there.
But that actually, he's very lucky he's still alive, now that I think about it.
Yeah.
Because there could have been a lot of accidents.
Yeah.
And granted, that's probably something that he was only able to do once he actually practiced with it, because originally it was probably just an on or off thing for his entire body, you know? Like, he probably didn't have that fine-tuned control of it.
Yeah.
So, there's that, but...
That's a good point. Imagine if you're 4 years old and you're Mirio. How do you do your quirk?
Right. Well, it would probably be something that he would just do sometimes, and then, but if he ever needed to breathe, he would basically instinctively be like turning it off.
But that's the thing, is that like, as far as like doing it, would it be a subconscious thing? Because when I think about a lot of superhero origins where their power awakens, a lot of times it's in a freak, emotional, dramatic spike, and they just do it.
Right.
But in this case, in MHA, it's always, or most of the time, they showcase some aspect of their quirk at a very young age. And the doctors are able to tell if they're quirkless or if they have a quirk. So he has a quirk, and he, you know, is very young. What are his parents like? Like, I'm thinking of Jack, basically. Do you remember, when he just, warps through walls and stuff?
Yeah.
Like, does he just, oh no, I'm in the crib, and then whoop, he just falls right through it, and then pops out like in the front yard or something like that?
Sure, or potentially even worse.
Yeah,
what
like
happens
half a state away or something?
Well, or what happens if he's just really high up? Let's say he's on a building. Let's say he's walking over a bridge.
Yep.
And he falls, right? Now, if he's able to phase and then unphase, then the matter displacement acceleration could slow him down and stuff. But if he didn't use his quirk at the right time to stop his fall, then splat, he's dead.
Yeah.
So that was probably interesting growing up for him. But
do you think that was something that maybe helped him develop his quirk a little bit, or the way he was describing it, that no, it was really hard to use as a quirk, and he had to put in a lot of effort in order to be this good or to be any good?
I don't think, from what he was saying, I don't think he was saying that it was hard for me to use my quirk. It's that he was saying it was hard for me to be effective with my quirk.
Gotcha.
Because there's a lot of fine-tuned control. You know, it's like Lelouch with the, it's like, okay, there's a lot of things to think about.
Prerequisites.
That you have to be thinking about, like fast, because you can't, like, for maybe a stage play, you could do some cool stuff.
Sure.
But like, for actual combat, where your life is on the line and everything and stuff, and people are moving quickly, you have to have it as like instinct at that point. And
I have an idea.
Yeah. What?
Yeah, it would definitely have to be instinct. But the way he described, like, just kind of going through the wall and talking about, okay, then don't use it on this foot, remain that one, I have to go through this part of my body. Yep. And then once I get on the other side, then take it off on this foot so I can stand.
Right.
I think that he might have been scared to use his quirk a lot. Is that he maybe used it once, and it scared the crap out of him. He lost all senses as he was underground.
Sure.
He, like, had a hard panic attack or something, and maybe it was like Tamaki, for instance. But then he basically had this, like, nope, I'm never using this quirk again. It terrified me. I don't know what happened. It was just like I was there, and suddenly I was over here.
And when you think about it, like, given the limitations and conditions and all that stuff that they've put on his quirk, it's actually not that busted. Like,
it's not.
Like, he could get taken down very easily. All it needs to happen is someone shoots him from far away.
Yep.
Like, he doesn't see the attack coming, and suddenly, oh, there you go. Like, he might have something where he is constantly, like, making it so that, like, his feet are working, and like his head is, in place. So
and that's why he was like, oh, you went for the head. That's my always on part of my quirk.
But then at the same time, in order to breathe, he needs his lungs. So like, the different parts of the body depend on each other a lot. So like
how specific could he get? Though.
Yeah, like
that's where it's probably
specifically
busted.
Just the lungs or something. But then, like, and then of course there's the question of okay, I'm guessing with something like this, the rest of his body has to basically adapt to whatever phasing or non-phasing is happening, right?
Right.
You're not going to have something where your organs fall out of your body because you've had them phase and not the rest of them. Or you have like something that you ate that day. Just all fall out of your body, and now you need to eat again, and you can't like use your phasing until it digests, or something like that, because that would be an issue. So it's probably like if it's on the inside of his body, then it maintains cohesiveness throughout the phasing. But apart from that, anything's up. Like anything from the outside interacting with his body, just it doesn't happen, which is pretty ridiculous.
Yeah, I also wonder if, like, he's never, like, because this is a law of matter, like it's almost something where the quirk itself opens up a new realm of physics, basically study.
Right. Here's
That's actually an interesting question. If something got put inside him, would it have to exit rapidly?
Well, sure. Well, here's another question too. He's phasing and he can't see, right? Because his eyes can't capture the light. Why isn't he invisible? Like the fact that they went into that much detail about like him not being able to see, which I think is fantastic.
Yeah.
He should be invisible. Like, because light will pass through him, right?
When he's phasing.
Yeah, when he's phasing. There might be a slight delay, but given the speed of light, it wouldn't really be noticeable. Like,
that's actually the point that makes me think it's not something that he's got on constantly. Because if it was, maybe it does cause some kind of issue. Maybe that's the thing that's crazy, is that he's actually in the anti-mass
quantum
space
level. He's like,
but when he's in that space, it's at such a fast speed that he's exiting that it never even becomes a thing of like, you know, long periods of time. And that's maybe actually the craziest part for him using his quirk, is when he's above and he's like, all right, don't use it on my feet so I can stand. Oh, they're attacking my head and my upper body. Phase all of that. Oh, this attack's better go really quickly, because in these next 2 seconds I'm going to start going into all kinds of body issues and stuff.
Yeah, and that's actually probably the biggest reason why the quirk seems overpowered, is because he doesn't turn invisible when he's using it. You don't know if he's using it or not and where. Right. So you have to just sort of guess. Or if it's someone like, say, Todoroki, he could actually be incredible against him because he just starts burning everything around him, right? And then he has to come up eventually.
To outlast him.
Right. It's like, how long can you hold your breath? Oh, and I know that you can travel through the ground, so I'm going to also move around because I know you can't see anything while you're doing that. So you're blind, right?
How far could he travel?
He could probably travel really far.
I'm actually thinking there's almost no way you could. So when I think about this from like a PvP standpoint,
he just escapes. Basically.
He has an automatic escape button.
He just goes into the ground and
he goes at a very not flat angle, but 98-degree angle, and he just goes just shoots that way, and 3 miles just pops up naked, and he's just like, well, this is awkward, and he just kind of goes and finds a telephone, and he's just like, has anyone here got a quarter? Someone got a quarter, and they're like, ugh, and he's like, no, don't worry. I'm a pro hero. I mean, I'm aspiring to be a pro hero, but no need to panic, citizen. And I just see him being the most calm and collected with it.
Or even better, he says, okay, can I use your map system on your phone real quick?
Yeah, just really quick.
I was a little bit off. Okay. Let's see.
Yes.
All right.
Well, that's probably what it is. Someone recognized his quirk. It's probably this Sir character.
Right.
And they've got a very I'm an intelligent hero. And maybe what they do is they recognize his quirk and they helped him develop it by studying it and giving him some data parameters and stuff.
If you look at all the plot points that were brought up, villains aside, the plot points is that he's good. He wasn't always good, but there's this Sir person and they helped him a lot.
Yep.
Then there's this character that was shown, probably the Sir person.
The girl that came in said Sir.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
Now, the thing is, I can't guarantee that it's the same person. I think it is because it's the timing and stuff. But the Sir was the first word in the sentence, so it was capitalized. But if it just happened to be the second word and it was capitalized, then it would have worked.
Well, and even then, that's if it's not, then that's basically unclear writing that I wouldn't be surprised if went in there. But it's
no, this is MHA. They keep it simple and to the point. So
and then there's also the fact that All Might had a sidekick.
Yes. Now
these are Sir is All Might's sidekick.
Yep.
Who taught him, and that's the connection to All Might, which is why he looks so much like him, acts like him, and all that stuff and whatnot.
Right. So there's a genealogy here. All Might is essentially the one that we have present here right now. Gran Torino is kind of the in-between stage of that. So what we kind of see here is a cool separation of the successors and the people that helped the successor or the successor was helped by.
Right.
And so this Sir character it kind of fits because whereas I would say Gran Torino kind of has elements of All Might in him, I would say personality-wise, he's totally different, but I'm saying like aesthetic and things. Sir actually seems like the kind of character that would perfectly complement the unstoppable bruiser of All Might by being kind of the
opposite.
the analyst, the tech savvy person, or maybe just the brains,
Well, yeah, and with that whole brains thing, so here's in the previous episode they did the whole successor thing, and they showed this guy, right?
They showed
they showed Mirio. So here's what I'm thinking. Assuming that Sir is All Might's old sidekick, and that he's the one that trained Mirio,
right?
Then I'm guessing Mirio was like, "Hey, All Might, this kid is a..."
You mean Sir?
Yeah.
Sir was like this about Mirio.
You're right. And Sir basically said, "Hey, All Might, this kid is a prime candidate to be the next One for All holder because he can freaking phase." And
also
that complements
look at his personality.
Perfectly.
Look at what personality Mirio has. He is wholesome. He is inspiring. He
has blonde hair. Well, he's in good shape.
I would say he has a good heart. He's someone that right now we can see with Mirio and what he is right now.
Right.
He's someone that's enthusiastic and positive and charming, and he has all the elements. I would say maybe he needs some honing, and he probably does. Of a beacon, of someone that could be the next symbol. A symbol of peace. What is the pun that I
No, it's just
here.
See, here's the thing. There's a very obvious reason why All Might didn't pick him to be a successor. Quirkless aside,
he looks too much like All Might.
No.
No?
The symbol of peace should not be a symbol of dong.
Sorry, he gets naked too much.
He's not family friendly enough.
For the symbol of peace brand, we have to keep it PG.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm totally fine with TV-14. That it has its place, but
it's not Disney approved.
That was your joke. Oh my god.
And that basically. So. Because like
Wow.
But yeah.
Okay, so I like this whole line of logic. All Might having a sidekick just makes sense. Of course, he had a sidekick at some point.
Right.
Why does he not have the sidekick now?
Probably it could be a disagreement over that.
Maybe. I think that's definitely like a part of it. But the thing that's interesting is that All Might came to UA to like
find a successor.
Like that whole little scene with Nezu was pretty helpful there. But here's the thing: he chose Deku because he saw basically like himself. He saw the true heart of a hero. Had he already seen, someone else at that point,
Mirio?
like Mirio, had he already looked at some potential successors at that point?
I would think so.
Yes.
Even if it wasn't like they wouldn't have known it, of course, but. I think so. And also, one of the other things that we saw about Sir, now, if he is All Might's, or was All Might's sidekick, one of the things that looks a bit strange is how opposite they are, and not in appearance and personality, well, more personality than appearance, because Sir seemed like the first thing that he did was he corrected his sidekick and basically said, "You weren't speaking right."
Yeah,
like that's very particular. That's pretty anal right there. So
this is a very details-oriented person.
Maybe very much likes to like be in control, kind of a thing, and have everything be just the way he pictures it.
Yeah.
So I could see him very much getting upset if he saw this perfect successor in Mirio, and All Might didn't choose him.
Yeah, but that seems like something that would be the culmination of a lot of disagreements.
Sure.
I think what maybe started it more so was actually kind of the whole all-for-one situation. And then that was, 5 years ago. And then maybe it culminated more recently with the whole Deku thing. Also, here's another thing. If you were All Might's sidekick... you would be hounded by press, by everyone there to try and get some kind of info on All Might. So what actually is more likely the case is that no one really knows that, that basically that Sir in this case, or
was
or who was All Might's sidekick. And especially if it's that classic trope of the guy in the chair, that person being the brains in the background and stuff, they wouldn't have to know about the person because they wouldn't go out into the scene. And also, if it's someone that believes in All Might, they don't care about any of the glory.
Oh, yeah, well,
they're doing this because it's...
Well, and if they did, tough luck.
Oh, true.
Because you're not getting any when you're in a shadow that big.
Wait,
like not really. Like what you were saying of like the whole thing of like the press hounding him and stuff to get details on All Might. That's like because what I saw from this guy is that he's bitter for some reason.
Oh,
right.
Okay.
And that is absolutely
that.
something that I would think would like help cause that, and that could also be why they like he's not All Might's sidekick anymore. And now I'm not saying like now that One for All or All for One has like done the whole thing and All Might is gone, but like even before that, right? Because the fact that we didn't know this, the fact that Deku hasn't mentioned it in all his musings, could it be that the creator hadn't thought of it yet? Sure, but
hadn't thought of what?
Of like All Might having a sidekick and who they are and all that stuff. Sure,
or this is something I'm saying that might have been hinting at it all along. Remember, he said there were 4 people that knew about his identity.
Oh yeah,
all that stuff there, and
right.
Like one of them didn't have a...
Yes. I'm talking about the fact that Deku didn't mention it. Yeah, Deku didn't mention All Might having a sidekick.
But...
right.
Because Deku it's not common knowledge.
Well, either
right.
it's not common knowledge or it's not current knowledge. That basically... All Might maybe did have a sidekick and people knew about that, but then the sidekick retired. The sidekick started. They developed their own hero agency, right? All that stuff.
No, I would think they're going to go with the angle that it's not common knowledge because Deku studied All Might. Like he went and like.
No, I know. I'm not saying that Deku didn't know. I'm saying that the fact that Deku hasn't mentioned it in any of his ramblings means that it doesn't matter at this point in his mind.
But then right when we did mention it here with Gran Torino, he looks shocked. Like,
he did?
All Might has a sidekick?
Oh, okay, sure. Then maybe that's what it is.
I mean, it could be, and I might have been misinterpreting the scene, but we can rewatch it after this and take a look at stuff. We can probably mention that in a post season 3 discussion thing, which maybe we should do or something like that.
Possibly.
I mean, there's a lot. to discuss
we discussed season 3 already a ton. Right?
A ton. That's true. Maybe it'd be more of a season 4 theories thing at that point.
Who knows?
Okay, so big other thing is that I would say that it's still kind of around this whole All Might has not only a sidekick but has been potentially looking for a successor that could have been Mirio. Mirio seems like the kind of person who doesn't need like anything else. Like he seems like a fully realized hero, and he's got like all the he's got all his socks in a row. Like he's got,
of course, before he has them phase off of his feet.
Right. So if he's in the story and he's going to be a big deal.
Yeah. And
we're kind of expanding the cast right now to include not only more heroes,
but more villains.
Do you feel like they're basically upscaling also the potential of quirks in general?
Possibly.
Because this Overhaul character, just to briefly touch on him, every theory in my mind about what his quirk is has like god level potential.
Right, because being able to do something like that, it's a lot like it's all the busted attack potential that we have thought about when we were thinking about Mirio and the whole idea of phasing, right?
Yeah.
The idea that you could just mash matter together and for all intents and purposes have it be permanent. Like that, okay. How should I say this? Doing that will basically... That's not something you ever recover from.
No.
Because okay, if it's something where it's just like, all right, your body ends here and like starts here and you sort of just go through the person, that's probably the best way it could go, but even there, that's not what seemed to be happening.
No.
So that's everything gets all scrambled together, and then at that point it doesn't matter who you are. Like that's something that you're dead. Even if you were, say, someone like All Might in his prime, like because your body's just not there anymore, or it's got concrete in it or whatever.
Or to bring up someone else's quirk that just got introduced, Mirio, what happens
Oh, he'd be immune.
Would he
Probably.
be immune? Because I'm actually looking at these two characters as being kind of diametrically opposed opposites to each other. I think they brought in Mirio in some ways to showcase how you need to be having a quirk this specific and this insane in order to even stop potentially someone like Overhaul.
Yeah.
Because I don't think Overhaul's going to be like insanely strong.
Yeah, like if he has something where he like needs to touch you in order to like do the thing.
Yeah, he's going to have some kind of drawback
by a bunch of people.
Yeah, exactly. He's going to have some kind of drawback, just like Mirio does have here.
If that quirk ends up getting used on somebody, you can't recovery girl that. You can't heal concrete out of your like chest.
Yeah.
Like that doesn't work. Not when like each molecule would be meshed with another one or
like,
something crazy like that.
This is basically if Edward Elric came like to, you know, like the My Hero Academia world
and did specifically human transmutation.
And did human transmutation and just did transmutation.
Yeah. Right, exactly.
You know, like basically, that's basically what, because guys, if you think about what overhaul as a word means, like, it's basically deconstruction, reconstruction. It's the reset. It's the overhaul. So if his quirk is basically just alchemy, like,
then
well, crap. Yeah. Who's gonna die? Like,
well, and that's
who's dying? I hope some villains. This is actually the thing I'm excited about. They bring him over to the League of Villains thing here.
Oh, you want to see like villain against
I want to see villain against villain factions.
Oh yeah,
because that's probably going to happen.
And quite frankly, that's where we'd probably actually be able to see consequences because even with the big three introduced, right?
Right.
Even with all the pro heroes that there are, have we ever seen anyone actually die?
Nope.
Like we know that the previous One for All holder did die.
Yep, that's it.
That's it.
And I don't think they need to kill people to have a great story and stuff.
But it's the idea that like
if they're escalating.
Well, and not just escalating, but specifically when you have something like this, where something like Overhaul or something like Shigaraki, where the quirk is inherently lethal.
Yep.
You can't like okay, even with fire, it does bug me a bit that it's like you burn someone, they're not dead, they're just like, oh, that was pretty bad. It's like flamethrowers like like that's not something.
You are a very flammable human flesh.
Yeah.
Let me tell you that.
Flesh can boil and bubble and burn, and it's not pretty.
It's not pretty. No.
So that's just fire. That's just elemental type stuff. You come into matter deconstruction and mishmashing and crap. If they use their quirk on somebody, that person will never be the same again.
Yep.
Like even if they're still alive, and that's. Still being alive is questionable.
And I'm curious to see what the drawback's going to be. Yeah. Because like in some ways it's fun to think about the upwards potential of a quirk, but I also like to think about the negative potential of a quirk.
Yeah.
And I think that Mirio's being introduced in this way is a very, very cool, exciting way to showcase how insanely difficult to manage a quirk can be. It doesn't have to be just a blessing. It can be a somewhat blessing and a potentially way more annoying curse. So I'm interested in that. I think that them bringing Overhaul immediately from that whole setup in the last episode where Twice bumped into Overhaul and some of his cronies, it looked like, with their plague masks and stuff. Bringing him into the League of Villains now, I think, is basically setting up a villain ideals rivalry like Stain, because it's basically the same thing that they did with Stain was we bring him there, they're going to have a talk, they're not going to see eye to eye, they'll have some sort of tentative alliance, like somewhat of a non-aggression pact.
Yeah, the enemy of my enemy kind of a thing, but it doesn't always mean that they're your friend.
Yeah, so maybe they'll group up for a little bit, maybe they'll split immediately, but what I'm excited to see is a new ideology coming into things. He repeated again the whole
sickness idea.
And I don't want to catch your guys's.
And Twice even said that people in here have been sick for a while.
Yeah.
Like, so.
And it's funny with Twice because every once in a while we're like, wait, which one of him is saying this?
Well, which one of him is saying that? And the fact that he says that when quite literally he is mentally
He is the
sick.
one that's the most sick, unfortunately.
I mean,
poor guy, right?
Best of luck, with that, buddy. But,
He's another example of a course that's a quirk that's a curse.
Twice is.
Overall.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, but they introduced that in the last episode. Like, specifically what the curse is. And then in this episode, they introduce another quirk that has a really huge drawback, like a really difficult
he has to
aspect.
Be naked?
Well, no. He
just
has to think so intensely about
and
every single
he can't
action.
See, he can't hear, he can't, all that stuff.
Right. So, in some ways, his quirk using it is probably so taxing on him, like mentally.
Or it certainly was at the beginning.
Or it was at the beginning that this positive, boisterous personality is him, like, recovering, from it.
Or just the fact that he probably had to work so hard, especially during his whole, pubertizing time, that looks like he's done with now, because he is rather swole and jacked and, like, all that. I wonder if that has anything to do with the fact that he knows he'll be naked on a regular basis. So he's like, well, if I'm going to do that, I might as well make it so that, so that the girls have something nice to look at.
No, that's the thing. He's not at all egotistical. He's like, I'm so sorry. I don't want you to have to be forced to see anything you weren't ready for.
But at the same time, it's like, but I can't really avoid it. So but it like basically, because he would have had to deal with so much stuff. At this point, since he's mastered it now, since he's on the other side of that, I can imagine he would be one of the most boisterous, like, just joyful people around, because
he's overcome everything.
Yeah, he's like, I have attained mastery of myself.
Whoa.
And that's what this quirk really is. It's like as close as you can get to that without having it just be you're a god,
Right. So that's another way that there's a picture of him not just being in the standpoint of being the strongest with his quirk, but in a way that his personality is one that is so confident because he's overcome himself. And Midoriya, Deku, is basically in the constant doubt and also just realization that he's not realizing his full potential yet. And it's also the thing where maybe he doubts his potential because maybe he won't be able to make All Might's quirk his own in the same way All Might has. And that's kind of, I would say, the point of the story, is that of course it's not going to be done the same way. You're Deku.
You're Deku. You're not All Might. But the thing is that then this guy comes along, and as far as All Might 2.0's, he's the closest thing we have. Like, like they even did the shading thing.
They did, yes.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Yeah. They did the shadows, they did the poses. They did the
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Yep.
Whew, how does he rate for you as just a character getting introduced in this show? I think it's one of the best, like, for me. Like, it's a little bit weird.
I wouldn't rate it that high.
Oh, you wouldn't rate that high?
No, here's why.
Why?
One of the things that I'm noticing with MHA is that because their cast is so large, that basically when they introduce characters, I feel like they're kind of just doing two things. They're introducing their quirk, and then they're introducing their quirk. Oh. And that's kind of it. So the fact
that's what they did with the other two characters.
Well, right. That's I don't consider them characters.
Yeah, not yet.
Like not yet. Like not even like class 1A, not really characters, but characters. Like no, they in my mind they do not exist.
Right.
Like it's almost as if everything is passing through them. But with this guy, the biggest thing that they did for his introduction, in my mind, there was all the stuff with his quirk and everything, but the biggest thing that they did was showing basically that he struggled, right? And granted, it wasn't really showing that he struggled. It was more of telling that he struggled. But he was doing it as an educational thing to the other students, so it works. But I would love to see more of him
showing him struggle.
Basically showing the results of his struggle. It's easy to just do a boisterous, joyful personality, and I absolutely believe that it would be earned for someone like him. But that's still just a quirk, right? It hasn't gone to the point yet where I'm like, yes, I can see the three-dimensionally. I can see the three-dimensionality not just basically as an idea, but fully realized.
Right. So would his struggle, if we imagine his struggle now, it can't be regarding his personal development as relates to his quirk.
Right.
So it has to be about him overcoming something greater than himself.
Sure. One of the other things that I could see it potentially being is that if you were to draw like parallels from a quirk, to try and like deduce personality and all that stuff.
Sure.
Everything passes through him.
Oh.
Now, Now, if that was something that he could not control, it would be very hard for him to connect with people. Because, like when I just think about things like that, because there's the whole clothes falling through him thing. Sure, haha, funny, cool, all that stuff. But when I think of it, I think of like how something like that would be used in like an extreme sense in a different kind of story, where like he is unable to have physical contact with anybody because he's just like a ghost and passes right through them, or whatever. There's all kinds of different things that they could do there. So
those two seemed to be his friends.
Yeah, and they seemed like they had been friends for a long time.
Especially the girl, yeah.
Yeah, so they could show more of his personality and the struggle and stuff through like flashbacks, for instance, of times when he wasn't like that. Like that's something I could totally see happening, where like when other kids are having struggles, he's basically coming by and he's relating to them with the story of how he struggled.
That would definitely get flashbacks with this kid. I feel like there was a little bit of the intention of the mangaka shown by the way that they introduced the big three, is basically saying that they're going to be around in the story for a while. Yeah. Like, a while.
They are actually at UA as opposed to some other school. Like
yes, but there's a reason why there's the big three and not the third-year class being introduced. The reason why that is because we can manage three characters. We can keep three characters in our minds and keep their color-coordinated shticks basically resonating in our mind. But the reason why they went deep on this one character is because he has very important character development, character depth, character-related stuff that interacts with the main duo of the story, Deku and All Might.
Yep.
So if he's in the story for that kind of, I would say, progression, then he's basically going to be the biggest bro to Deku at multiple points in the story going forward. And I cannot wait for that, because
that will be awesome. It will also make it horrible if he dies.
Well, I don't think anyone's really going to die as a kid in MHA, so I think we're fine in that regard. But I am more actually excited about the idea of villains dying, because most of them are
because
adults.
That's a bit more believable that it would happen too.
Well, also we just saw it last episode. They were nameless, faceless, non-existent characters.
Oh, right. Those people definitely were dead.
They were definitely dead.
Yeah, even if they were nameless, faceless.
And come on, Dobby burned like
that's true.
half a dozen people in a random alley.
And I appreciate that.
Yeah, Jacob, they were like paste. They were just arms sticking out.
Yeah. Shigaraki hasn't even killed anyone as far as I know. So,
Yeah, I think we have been told a lot that people are ruthless murderers. And we need to be shown it.
Come on.
Even if you just show it to nameless, faceless nobodies, it puts the real and present danger of the villains being, bigger of a deal because All Might's not around. Right. So showcasing that is good. I do think you're right that the big three are basically just shticks right now.
But that's fine, because the fact that they focused it on Mirio so much is good, because if they had tried to distribute it amongst all three, that wouldn't have had the same oomph, right?
Well, they could have done it, but they just wouldn't have been able to showcase Mirio's quirk, really.
Right, yeah.
Like, they maybe would have been able to say, like, you want to see something cool? And they just kind of boom, boom, he just does something, and you're like, figure it out. And they're like, what? Right, yeah. Like, that would have been cool, because then Deku would have been like, and there's furious note-taking.
Yeah, there's that note-taker. All right, what else could we do, though? Just mess with his mind. He'll be thinking about this for weeks, Yeah. But what they did of focusing on Mirio was really good.
The showcasing of a character that casually jumps into the nude and is very confident about it, but is also respectful about it, was, I think, a clever way to bring in a fan service character. So I just want to give props to Horikoshi for saying, this guy is a total fan service character.
He's a man service character.
A man service character that you all are going to love. And that's not going to be something that's just tacked on as fan service for the purpose of just drooling eyeballs.
Well, and also we brought that in the same episode as we saw Mineta do one of the more ridiculous bouts of just drooling and gawking that we've probably ever seen from him. And then the fan service that does end up happening is all with the dude stripping down bare nude.
Yeah, I thought that was very very poignant and perfect. Let's talk about the villains. There was nothing really new introduced there, but the fact that there's an investigation going on.
That's the biggest thing.
Sir character, a new other hero, probably his sidekick or something.
Here's something I would actually...
And also Gran Torino working with the police officers.
And here's something that I actually... Okay, so if the whole thing with Sir is that he had someone else that, like, if he is All Might's ex-sidekick and he had someone that, like Mirio, that he wanted to be the successor for One for All, and it didn't end up happening, that could be a cool way to have an antagonist for Deku amongst the heroes. Because the closest thing I would say we ever got to that was with Endeavor. Right,
and even that
wasn't really
kind of.
Yeah, it's just
and it was a little bit Aizawa in the very beginning.
But they
barely.
Quickly, like in the very first episode he was introduced, they got past that. So that would be something that could be really cool to see. But that whole thing of Gran Torino being like, "Oh, I'm busy. I'm in the middle of something." It's like, oh, really?
Right. Heroes have lives and stories that they're doing outside of the main character's universe.
And that was like at the police station, it looked like.
Yeah, Sakauchi was on the computer in the background,
So, just saying.
Yeah, it also seems like this is something where the League of Villains are maybe about to get raided again. And basically the reason behind this is that they're thinking, okay, All Might is gone. We need to display strength.
Sure.
And basically let the villains know, just because All Might's gone, don't make this think that you can just sit around and not, have to worry about us. And especially if they know where like Shigaraki is.
Well, and what was one of the other things they established? This isn't the main hideout. That means this hideout is expendable. This hideout is raidable.
Ah, gotcha.
Right?
Okay.
Because this is just for interviews, right?
Right.
So if they did have something that busted out here, one, it would get us to see more like hero on villain action and stuff that doesn't involve the students. But it would also be a chance to basically showcase Overhaul in action, not just the aftermath of what he does, right?
Good point. And that could also be a way for Overhaul and the League of Villains to find some kind of alliance. Is basically
earn each other's respect and all that.
Right, basically that we need to overcome this new wave of hero-specific attacks, so we need to, we're better together than separate.
Exactly.
And then it'll basically be whether or not the leaders of these respective parties, Shigaraki and Overhaul, are willing to work together.
Exactly.
Yeah. And I think that's where a lot of the story potential comes in, is that Shigaraki, like they said, was the successor that was let loose. It was let wild to roam and stuff.
Yep.
I want to see Shigaraki make alliances.
Yeah.
I want to see Shigaraki break alliances that he's already made.
Oh, yeah.
I want to see Shigaraki pit other villains against each other.
Yeah,
because it means that he will not have to deal with them himself.
We're going to have tryouts. Make it quick.
Make it fast.
Yeah, make it fast.
Yeah. That was that was something that, like, the minute they introduced All for One, I was basically thinking, like, okay, All for One is too big to be gone anytime soon. And they did a big subversion by having the big fight be so early on in the story.
Yeah.
So what if like All for One, like, this is more of a setup also to that All for One also has different irons in the fire, so to speak. I get kind of a Kingpin vibe.
Okay,
one of the plots of Kingpin was that he ended up becoming king of the prison before he ended up leaving, and then striking out and building his empire. What if this is the opposite, and it's that they had an empire, and it's slowly been eroding over time, and now Kingpin is looking for a successor, but still, even while he's in the background, he's going to be playing a little game, putting all of his little pawns into motion. Because I don't think he would have put all of his eggs, at least all of his resources.
No.
I'd say he'd put maybe all of his belief in one basket.
Sure.
But not all of his resources.
Yeah.
So that could be another cool thing, just to provide another faction that's not Overhaul, Shigaraki, or just nameless, faceless villains.
And one of the other things too is anytime you have someone that's basically leading an organization, especially when they're new to that position, is you got to handle how they handle. You got to see how they handle conflict,
right?
Not external conflict. External conflict is good too.
Yes.
But internal conflict is way more important.
Way more.
So the fact that Overhaul is showing up, one, I would not be surprised at all if it was orchestrated by All For One, right? As a way to test Shigaraki, be like, see how you handle this. Someone else who's got, big dreams, big ego, big shadow, and throwing their weight around or whatever.
Right. Yeah.
But, so that's... Yeah,
there's so much
stuff could happen.
There's so much potential when you make the villains have their own essentially stories that don't involve the heroes.
Right, because in order for them to have conflict amongst each other, that means they need to have things that they individually want.
Yep.
Rather than just collectively being like, we are bad guys.
Yeah.
So that automatically basically makes it going to be at least interesting conflict.
Yes.
Just bare minimum.
Yeah. I do find it interesting, though, that Overhaul had those other people with the plague masks, but went alone.
Right, yeah.
Either he's extremely confident, or it was basically a deal. Like, we want you to come because, you represent something.
Right, if you bring your mooks along, sure, that's a bonus to the deal, but we're not interested in them.
Yeah, that also could be it. Like, we're only looking for the best here or something.
Right, exactly.
Maybe twice.
If you have influence of your own, great, but
maybe twice actually saw the quirk being used, and we as the audience didn't see it.
Sure.
And was just like, Shigaraki, I'm bringing someone.
Yeah.
And I'm kind of got a scared, excited, like, quirk boner right now. And he's just like, twice we said this about the Deadpool references. You have to keep it like PG-13. He's like, okay, sorry.
Good episode. Yeah. I'm excited for season 4.
Yeah, I'd say this.
Surprise there.
This is kind of like season 2's finale a little bit.
But season 2's finale.
But instead of being introduced to the kind of the connection point between
the connection point.
Yeah, I know. The connection point between the protagonist and the antagonist. It's the protagonist and another protagonist.
Sure.
I think that's a little bit loose, but but my main thing
I personally like season 2's finale way more, just because.
Oh yeah, season 2's finale was insane. There was the slice of life stuff getting subverted by the terrifying bit
just
with
out of nowhere.
But like. Like, come on. Like,
this
Mirio and Deku. Like, there's going to be some... I don't know. There's just going to be some really cool moments.
Oh, absolutely.
I'm excited about those.
Yeah.
So, Other than that, guys, that's the end of Season 3.
Yep.
My Hero Academia. We'll, of course, obviously be reacting to My Hero Academia Season 4 when it comes out, which will probably be not too long, actually. They've been doing a really good job of making these come out every April, I think. Yeah, every April.
That. Yeah, sounds about right.
And there's a possibility it might come later this time.
Who knows?
But who knows, really?
They said they were already making it, so...
Yeah, they're already making it. This is Studio Bones. They're a good studio.
Yeah. They know their stuff.
And they've devoted their major studio portion to My Hero Academia.
So Common sense.
Yeah, it's their flagship show, basically.
Yeah.
So it's awesome stuff. Jacob, do you want to do any kind of a Season 4 theories discussion thing maybe at some point? Yeah, we'll talk about it on our Discord or something like that. But yeah, guys, speaking of which, if you want to get involved with any kind of My Hero Academia anime, exclusive, no manga, spoilers or anything like that discussion, check out the link in the description below for our Patreon, and any kind of support gets you access to our Discord, where you can chat with us about My Hero Academia, what we thought of this episode, extra stuff like that, or, if you do any other kind of support, there's early access full lengths where you can get, special looks at other reactions that we do. Yeah, if any of that interests you, we'll see you there. But until then, we're Semblance of Sanity. I'm Caleb.
I'm Jacob.
And we'll see you all next time.